have to do something.
Michael, you're going to have to.
You guys obviously left early enough to make it here. We probably have another 50 people coming. So we're going to go ahead and start because you guys took the time to prepare for whatever's going to happen today. So, Alex, a month ago, I said, hey, would you do a class for me on open houses? First, let me show you where she's at. This is where she was. Alex, can you put that light right next to your left? She was at 5.1 million last year at this time. So here's her business. Green represents listings closed. Yellow represents buyers closed. 5.1 million. Right about here, she said, hey, let me get a focus on something. My business is a little bit off. And that was down 5 million. She actually attended a class with Jack Hawthorne, and you said, yeah, open houses, I'm going to do that. And this is where her business went. I mean, like that month alone was almost 3 million. And it's 82% coming from open houses?
It's about 89 right now.
Okay, so 9 out of 10 deals comes from open houses. How much do you spend on open houses, Alex?
Just my Open Home Pro app, that's it. And that's $250 a year.
Okay. And Alex, do you feel like some mornings you don't feel great?
Like this morning?
Like
Yeah.
this morning? And the point is that this is something you all can do. It's not an economic component. It's not some sort of magic technology, although we do have that too with Command. This is something that is organic, it's raw, it's something that we did 20 years ago, 50 years ago, and she just does it at a higher level. And so I thank you today for showing up, but I ask that you implement. Alex, I know that you're going to take over here, but how many open houses was it before you started seeing results?
I started doing open houses the first year that I got my license, and I did them pretty consistently. But the difference between doing them 4 years ago and doing them this year is that all of those people who I've continued to contact and continued to be on drip campaigns and searches, those have now multiplied. And so all those people who I talked to maybe 4 years ago, all of a sudden are coming back. So it's been a long process, but this year it seems like a lot of the referrals I'm getting, and I'll show you numbers, started somewhere from an open house.
Isn't that wild? So it's a building blocks kind of thing. It's kind of like math. You know, when you skip school on Wednesday, you're like, oh, I missed it. Same thing here. This was building blocks, and you grew into this.
Yeah.
And now it's matured into something where it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You've got those referrals coming in. Okay, so we're going to let Alex take over. I'd like you to please give her a very warm welcome. Showed up today to do this to help us.
Oh, thanks. How do I get it?
Yes.
I'm going to take it off.
Oh.
Are you really watching Fast and Furious?
No, that's not me. I don't watch the Fast
Yeah,
and
what are
Furious.
you watching?
Please don't accuse me of that.
That's cool.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Give me this one for the questions.
Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? Okay, awesome. Do you guys want to close that back door? Because I know people hate when I yell. Awesome. Okay, a lot of you guys, I recognize your faces. A lot of you I know. A lot of you are in my downline. A lot of you show, some of you show properties for me. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name's Alex McCauley. I have been in this market center. I got my license in February of 2015. So not that long ago, if you want to do the math on it. I always like to tell people I'm originally from the Bay Area in California. So not originally from Texas. When I moved here, I knew absolutely no one but my now husband. So that goes to show that you guys, if you're new, if you've been here for 20 years, you can build a successful business without knowing anybody. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I moved here, I did not want to work with my now husband's family. So I'm sure you guys have kind of had the same experience. So I'm going to get through these slides because I know you guys probably have a lot of questions. I always like to preface each class with, I am learning still. You guys, I haven't even been in this business 5 years. It's still a process. I'm right there with you guys. I make mistakes all the time. So with that being said, who here does open houses now? Okay, awesome. So even though Michael kind of prefaced that with, oh, this last year, I really got serious about it, I've been doing open houses since the first day I got my license and I started. So I want to make that clear to everybody, because every slide that I'm going to kind of show is going to kind of prove that I've sort of built on something over the years. So let's talk a little bit about, oh. Repeat. Are we done? That was weird. Okay. If you guys don't follow me on social media, part of this open house class, it kind of combines the two. So we're going to talk about open houses, but all the things that you guys do to have a successful open house, it also includes being big on social media. Who here is only on Facebook? I know a lot of you are only on Facebook. That's fine. Get an Instagram account. I got serious about my Instagram account about a year ago, and it has changed my world. So if you guys aren't on Instagram, that's the first tip I can give is go to Instagram. So make sure you guys follow me. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Instagram and Facebook and how that kind of combines into things. So here's a little bit about me in the past year. And when I say year, I mean January of 2019 to present. So I've closed, it's over 45 transactions now. I think it's closer to 50. Right now, from January to the end of, we're in September, so the end of August, I'm counting those numbers, I've done 16,530,000 in volume. So that's, what, 9 months? Okay. I'm ranked a top 200 agent in Houston, which is pretty cool. I have been for the last 4 quarters. This year, I trained for a marathon. Can't really tell right now. I ran that one in January. My husband and I love to travel. I spend a ton of time throughout the year traveling. We've gone a lot of really cool places this year, so that's me and him in New York. That's my best friend from high school. She's actually pregnant right now as well. We're 2 months apart, which is really exciting. We travel all over the world together. And then in February, I found out that we're having our first baby. So I'm having my first little girl in November. Yes, thank you. So we're excited. So that kind of has changed things a little bit for me. Have things slowed down this year? No, they've increased. Michael always makes the joke, apparently get good agents pregnant and positive things will happen. I think for me, it just kind of shifted my mindset a little bit, and I got really, really direct and consistent with what I needed to do in a shorter period of time to be just as successful. So it goes to show when you're put under pressure, a lot of us work better under pressure. I know I do. The reason why I show you guys these slides, again, is because you cannot successfully lead generate, or in this case, lead generate through open houses without knowing your goals. That's my husband. My goal is to work really hard, but I also want to spend more time with him and my family. That is my #1 goal. In January, every year, I actually start this in December, I meet with my lender. If you guys don't have somebody that holds you accountable, every year, find somebody. My lender holds me accountable every year in December. She sits me down and we go through an entire business planning packet together in December. We meet halfway through the year to see where I'm at with my goals. The 3 biggest things that I said I wanted to do this year, I started at when I wanted to close 15 million. I'm now already over 18 this month, okay? So I had to readjust that goal in June. My new goal is to close over 22 million, and I should hit it no later than November. So really I need to adjust that. Maybe, let's see, I'm having the baby in November. If I have listings, maybe I can close 4 or 5 in December. So that was a goal that I have had that I've now already exceeded from December. But do you guys see where I'm getting with this? And I'm going to talk about how this leads into open houses. But if you guys don't know what your goals are at the beginning of the year, how are you going to get anywhere? I'm a very motivated, goal-oriented person. So my other goal, my biggest goal, was to start outsourcing more tasks to my team before the baby gets here. I met with Michael about a year ago, and he's like, what do you mean you don't have a transaction coordinator yet? I didn't. I was still doing everything myself. So in order to expand on open houses and other things that I want to do, I had to build a team, and I did that pretty quickly. And look at my numbers and look what happened. Maybe some of you feel you aren't there yet. I was the same way. I was like, I don't think I'm there yet. I'm not ready. I don't want to pay somebody. I'm not good at, I have to keep control. The second I let that go, look at what happened. I should have done it 2 years earlier, because it allows me to focus on the things that I'm good at, which is sales. But if I didn't set these goals in the beginning, I never would have gotten to where I am today. I look at these goals all the time. They're in my office. How many of you guys actually write goals at the beginning of each year? Yeah, and probably half of you that are saying that probably do maybe some bullet points, and that's about it. My goal packet is about 50 pages that I do with my lender. That's how specific we get. And then my last goal, spend more time with my husband. We have a 2-year-old Frenchie. His name's Astro, if you guys follow me. I love my dog. And obviously my baby. So one thing for me, I rarely work on Sundays anymore. Monday is kind of like my catch-up day. Yesterday, I was able to go to San Marcos with my husband while my team helped run everything for me, and I was able to shop for baby stuff. A year ago, I never thought I would be able to do that. So those were my goals, and the reason why I wrote those down and I share those with you guys is because I like everyone to hold me accountable, because somehow, writing it down, it's now become my reality, which is pretty cool to see, because I never thought that that was possible. Do you guys have any questions on goal setting? We're going to get started.
We're having a goal-setting class next month. It's time. You got to prepare, because everything you do today, you're not getting a paycheck on it for 2 to 3 months minimum.
Yeah, I cannot say enough about you guys have to know where you're going in this business. Okay, let's talk about open houses, since that's why we're here. I always have to kind of start every class with how I got to where I am, what I like doing to kind of set the bar for the year. So how to generate leads through open houses. So the biggest questions that I always get are how to choose your open houses. I'm going to be really frank with you guys. There is no magic to where people are going to open houses. My recommendation is choose a neighborhood that you like, choose a neighborhood that you know, choose a neighborhood that you're comfortable in, choose a neighborhood that if people walk through the front door, you can tell them all about it. I don't care if that's Katy, I don't care if it's Rice Military, I don't care if it's Spring Branch. What are you comfortable in? Because if you're not comfortable sitting in an open house, and if you're not comfortable with the questions that people are going to have for you, what is that going to look like to the people walking through the front door? Huh? You don't know what you're doing. Exactly. We want to make you guys feel as comfortable and natural as possible when you're in an open house. My areas of town, since everyone always asks me that I enjoy working, that I started working from the beginning, were Rice Military, the Heights, and Oak Forest. Why? Because I live in Oak Forest. Rice Military, because I got a mentor who's a top agent here when I first started, and most of his listings were in Rice Military. So I took all of them if I could. So those were the areas that I felt good in. When I moved to Houston, I lived off Washington Avenue, so I knew Washington really well. I knew Memorial Park was close by. I knew it was developing on Washington Ave. That's where I felt good in that space. Okay, the second question everyone always asks me, what price point is best? I don't think that there is a magic price point. This year, not only did I step up my open house game, but I also did higher price point open houses. We're talking anywhere from $500,000 to $800,000. I have picked up numerous buyers from open houses in the $800,000 range. When I teach Ignite, I get a lot of new agents who tell me, well, they're already represented. They already are working with someone. No, they're not. If you guys are asking the wrong questions then when you're in the open houses. Now, a lot of people will tell me they're not comfortable sitting in an open house at that price point. They don't feel comfortable talking about that price point. They don't feel comfortable being in a house that big, whatever it is, then don't do them. There's no perfect math to this, you guys, but the biggest thing is I want you to feel comfortable when you're sitting in an open house. So if you feel comfortable at the 300 price point, then do 300 priced homes. Does that make sense? Again, not rocket science. But it does drive me nuts when agents are like, oh, they're already represented in the $800,000 price point. No, they're not. We just have to talk about how you guys are asking questions when people walk in the front door of an open house. So you guys make that decision. The next question I get, what are the best times and days to do open houses? When I first started, and all my Ignite guys know this, I was doing 4 to 5 open houses a week. People always ask me, what does that look like? I would do 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. Sometimes I would do Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon, or evenings. So what did that look like? I would pick 2 in Rice Military. I would do one from 11 to 1, go grab food, and then go do the next one 2 minutes away from 2 to 4. Make it easy on yourselves. I had an agent recently who emailed me, and she was an hour late for my open house, and she's like, well, I tried to do 2 in one day, like you said. She chose 1 in Katy and 1 in Briar Grove Park. I was like, does that sound like a good idea? Be smart about it, you guys. Don't stress yourselves out. This is supposed to be fun. Don't be running around like crazy all day. So be smart when you're trying to do that many. When I started doing them during the week, I was doing them from 5 to 7 or from 4 to 7. It just depends. You get a lot of traffic with those moms who are picking up kids and driving home and see signs. I've picked up my best clients from Thursday and Friday open houses. Those of you who want to work with builders, I work with builders. I went to them. I've got a new builder right now that I just picked up. How did I do that? I had a client who wanted to see one of his new construction listings. They're not done yet. They weren't even on the MLS. She happened to drive by and saw their sign and called me and said, hey, I want to see these. Well, we went and saw him. Him and I had a really good conversation. He called me this past Saturday and said, hey, is your buyer going to come back? I said, I'm not sure, but have you thought about having an agent host open houses? And he laughed and he said, in all my years of business, not one agent has ever asked me that question. Because he's represented. He's got his license. He doesn't have to have representation. But what I've noticed is he's got 5 communities being built in Edo. He's running around trying to show all these properties on his own. Eventually, he's going to get too big to the point that he cannot handle every transaction. What comes in? An agent, right? So the first thing I said to him is, hey, I'm leaving for LA next week, but I would love to get lunch with you on the 25th, and I would love to do weekly open houses for you. I turned it into my office. He was like, I love that idea. You're an awesome agent, and I would let you do any open house you want to at any of my properties. Done. I will hopefully have his business in a year, would be my goal. That was not hard, right? I offered a free service that I know I'm good at. He's asking me questions. Why haven't I gotten these under contract yet? They're beautiful homes. They're listed between like $390 and $450. Great little yards, perfect area of Edo. And so we just had a conversation, and I was like, why can't I host these open for you? He said, yes. So look for opportunities with that. So when we meet on the 25th, I'm going to have a plan together, and I'm going to tell him, I want to do your open houses Wednesday through Saturday. You probably have 6 good weeks out of me before this kid gets here. And then I want to take over again in February when I come back. Easy, right? So look for those opportunities for open houses when you're thinking outside the box. Okay, how many open houses do you have to do per month to get your lead goal? It all depends, you guys. When I first started, again, I was doing 4 to 5 a week. So what does that equal? 20 plus a month. Now, I know I can probably do, I still do at least 1 open house a weekend on the weekends that I'm here. So I really try not to work on Sunday unless I have a seller who's like, I only want you in the open house, you need to be there, and I really try to avoid that. So I'm usually doing 1 open house on Saturday. So for me, that's at least 4 open houses, 4 to 6 open houses a month. But my lead conversion's a lot higher because I've gotten really good at them. So you guys kind of need to decide. I would say do it for the next 90 days, and I would be doing at least 2 open houses a weekend. So 8 a month. It doesn't sound like that many, right? But it's one of these things you guys have to commit to. A lot of agents come to my office and they're like, oh, I want to start doing open houses for you. And I'm like, cool, here's a whole list of open houses you can do. And then I'll email them, my team will email them on Monday and say, which ones do you want? oh, sorry, we have a party to go to this weekend. Sorry, we're doing this. I'm like, cool, you're off my list. I worked my butt off for the last 4 years to get all of this business, and I consistently did them. So you guys decide. Are your weekends more important to you? That's totally fine. Then you probably shouldn't be doing open houses because you have to consistently do them for a long time to start seeing results. Hate to say that. But make the commitment now. Are you going to do them or not? As busy as I am, this is the only way I lead generate, is through open houses. I know on Saturdays I am doing an open house. My husband knows it. He knows anything I'm doing happens after I'm done with that open house. It's the one commitment I've made to myself in this business, and it's worked. And then start tracking your numbers. We're going to get into that. However, whatever tracking system you use, I track through Referral Maker, Brian and Feeney's program. I use Open Home Pro. We'll get into that. But like, I don't care if it's an Excel spreadsheet. I don't care if it's a notebook, but track it. If you've done 30 open houses and have not picked up one lead from it, then we have a bigger problem, right? Okay, questions on this slide before I move on? None? Okay, cool. Okay, I have to do this. Now, this is not going to take very long, but let's talk about open house best practices. This is just, I'm going to be on my soapbox for 10 seconds, then we're going to move on. You guys realize when you are doing open houses for an agent, yes?
Question.
Yes.
You said 2 to 4.
Yes.
Why?
Oh, times?
5. Yeah. Why? Why you cut it off?
That was just a thing on there. You do whatever time makes you happy.
Okay.
My one suggestion about times, look online and see in the neighborhood what other times are other open houses, right? Because the more open houses that are on the MLS, the more traffic hopefully the neighborhood's gonna get. But keep in mind, you're also competing with those other agents. Now that doesn't scare me because I'm always shocked when someone comes into my open house and they're like, oh, we just saw 6 other properties and not one other agent asked, is somebody helping you? So bring it on. I'm totally fine with having 20 open houses in Rice Military in the neighborhood at the same time. Yeah.
So how successful have you really been?
Very successful.
Is one more than the other?
No, you guys, it does not matter. This is consistency over time. Don't think, oh, Thursdays is a better day than Friday. You're gonna have weeks where 3 weeks at a time, you're not gonna pick up one person. It happens to me all the time. And then that 4th week, all of a sudden I pick up 3 leads. This example, this month, I was having like a dead month. It was like people were coming in, but weird stuff was happening. Saturday I did an open house. I had 6 groups come through. 3 of those I guarantee you I will convert at one point or another to a buyer. My job is done for the month. So don't think, oh, Thursday is better than, it totally depends. All you need is that one person to walk through the door.
What's your first point after the open house? You have what type of
We're going to talk about all that. That's a totally different slide. We're going to talk about that. Any other questions? Someone else had their hand raised. Yeah. No.
Alex, can you do me a favor and repeat the question if people watching at home?
Oh, okay, sorry, finish your question. Okay, so the question that she asked was, do you go around to the other open house in the neighborhood and let them know, like, hey, I'm hosting an open house at this house? The answer is no. I'm really busy and I'm also lazy and I'm not going to door knock. I've never door knocked before an open house. I've never mentioned to another agent, oh, my listing's down the street. Totally up to you guys if you want to do that. I'm here to stay focused on the open house I am in. Whoever walks through that front door, that's who I care about. Now I will cross-sell my own listings. Like if I have a few listings in Edo, let's say for example, and I know I'm at one, and I know maybe another listing that someone else is hosting down the street for me, I might tell them like, hey, if this one doesn't work for you, I've got a listing around the corner that you might want to go check out. But yeah. Okay, here's my soapbox about open houses. When you guys are doing open houses, you're doing them for other agents, correct? Let's respect that. We've had a ton of open house issues this year, and it blows my mind the things that agents think are appropriate that they can get away with. Number one, when you are doing an open house for somebody, read about the listing. And this is not because we need you to sell the house you're in. This is because this is going to help you pick up more leads. Let me read a text that I got from a client who I picked up in an open house 2 months ago. It was my listing. She literally sent this to me yesterday. And I wanted to share this with you guys because I was cracking up. Let me find it because then she sent me a bunch of other stuff. So this was a listing of mine in Norhill in the Heights. And I met this girl, didn't think we had like a super big connection. All of a sudden she emailed me a month later after everything we're gonna talk about. And she said, I wanna start looking at houses. Well, yesterday she looks at a lot of houses, okay? She can afford up to 900. So she went and looked at one in the Heights. And yesterday she says to me, she sends me the link and she says, I like this one, but I need to do a little more research for rents in that area because I know it's not nearly as nice of an area and make sure there was never any flooding. And I said, okay, cool. I'll pull flood maps up for you tonight and run rental comps and I'll get them to you by the morning. And I asked her, she says to me, but I couldn't see the back house because there was a garage apartment in the back. I said, why couldn't you see the back? She said, tenants are in there and I think they've been having an open house every weekend. The lady at the open house didn't know pretty much anything, which I know is common since it's not always the realtor for that house. That like blows my mind. If you are doing an open house for someone and you cannot answer basic questions, how do you think that makes you look? Like an idiot. You just said it. Okay, I'm going to say it. I'm a very blunt person. You look like a moron. So in order, if you guys want to pick up leads, you need to be knowledgeable about the house that you are sitting in. And I cannot stress that enough. We're not trying to like get the person to buy the house, but they have basic questions which will naturally and organically lead into you answering questions about the neighborhood. What else is out there? But if you can't answer questions about the house you're in, do you think that that person's going to trust you to help them find another house? No. I am shocked at agents who sit in my open houses and cannot answer basic information. So all I'm going to ask you to do is read the MLS listing. I don't know, maybe know how many bedrooms it is. Maybe know how many square feet. Maybe know when it was built. Maybe, just maybe, pull up the seller's disclosure and read a little bit more about the history of the house. It takes, what, 10 minutes? But I have more people who will call me who have gone to visit one of my open house listings and say, hey, the agent there couldn't answer my questions. Do you mind answering blah, blah, blah for me? And guess what? I'm going to pick that person up as a lead. Okay? So don't get lazy, you guys. That drives me absolutely insane. Run comps for the area before you do an open house. People are going to ask. They're going to make comments to you. Agents get annoyed with me when they say, oh, I see the feedback. Everyone thought this house was overpriced. Is it really though? If you ran comps and you knew what else was listed, maybe you could go back and rebuttal and say, well, actually there's 15 other properties that are listed in this neighborhood. We're 200 square feet lower than all of those other 14. Oh, and by the way, we just put a new roof on, recently replaced the AC, water heater, and plumbing. Now how expensive does that house look? Again, it shows that you're knowledgeable. It shows that you know what you're talking about. I love rebuttaling people who come into my open houses. I pick them up at clients because they know that I know my shit. Right? Okay. Call the listing agent before you do an open house and ask what's special about this house. I am shocked at how many listings I have every week. You guys sign up for them and not one person calls me. Colleen, my assistant, sends out an email right after someone signs up with very clear instructions. Call Alex before to get details on property. Maybe 1 out of 20 of you guys call me. I have to reach out to you guys, which like blows my mind. Be proactive. I can explain the property better than the MLS can. I can give you notes. I can tell you a little bit more about that seller. So when you're sitting in that open house and you're talking to a potential lead, you again sound very knowledgeable. You don't have to know everything. I don't know everything about my listings. There's things that I have to tell people, hey, that's a really good question. I don't know the answer, but I will get you the answer within 24 hours. Okay. You guys understand that your number one job while in an open house is to provide information about the house you are in, correct? Why I am saying this is because by you naturally providing information about the house you are in, you learn more information about what that person actually wants. Then you can convert into a conversation, which we'll talk about in a minute, about what you're actually looking for. But here's the thing, you're making both parties happy. By being knowledgeable about the open house you are in and talking knowledgeably about it, you're keeping the seller happy, right? You're keeping the listing agent happy. You guys know a lot of our sellers shop our open houses, right? I work with a ton of investors. I get calls all the time. Don't ever let that person who did an open house back in my door because they couldn't answer one question. Be cautious, friends will come in. The real estate world in Houston is not that big. So when I talk about knowing the information, providing information about the house, it naturally leads to a conversation about potentially what that person is actually looking for. Does that make sense? And then you can get into converting them, which we'll talk about in another slide real quick. And I hate to say this, but I have to say it. Show up on time, you guys. I'm notorious for running late because I have 10 million things going on, but that's no excuse. And be professionally dressed. I've had to send people home because they're in crop tops during the summer, and I'm not even kidding you. And I'm not doing that for me, you guys. I'm doing that because if a family walks in the door and you look like you're going to the club, do you think that wifey is gonna want hubby to be working with you? Like, this is common sense stuff, but it blows my mind when I'll show up and see what people are wearing. I'm 7 months pregnant. If I can fit into nice pants and a shirt, so can you. Okay? Cool. Any questions about that? No. Yes. Do you have a question? No? No. Okay.
Alex,
yes.
percentage-wise, how often do agents that do your open houses not show up on time or are not prepared?
At least 65%.
I promise you this is the number one complaint I get from lead agents. Number one. It's kind of haphazard, or you call in the 11th hour saying you cannot make it. You are off their list forever. And 20 million pays a lot of commission, I promise you. Right? There's a lot of opportunity here. Don't screw it up by being haphazard.
Just to give you guys an example of that, like personally, I'm constantly looking for agents. I don't have a team, right? Like I have a mentor who still helps me. Like I learn from every day. We meet every Tuesday. Like he's a rock star. Like I'm still learning from him, his stuff. If he gives me something, I still jump. Like I'm still learning from these people, right? But like if I have an agent who I trust, I'm about to have a baby, probably through December through February. I can't be in that many places at once, right? I pay for some very high-end leads through another program, and I'm starting to get overwhelmed. I can't take on all that volume. I texted 2 of them yesterday, last night, and I said, I'm ready to talk. Do you want to start taking over these leads? And we're gonna talk about that. I just handed them a ton of business. Through one of those leads, through that program, I closed a $1.2 million condo a couple months ago. If you impress me and I think you're gonna do a good job and it's gonna help me make money, do you not think I'm gonna hand you business? I give some agents lease leads all the time because I can't handle it. So if you did a good job for me, other top agents are gonna start to use you, but prove yourself. It drives me insane how many new agents have an attitude, or older agents. I'm like, okay, last I looked, you've only closed 2 houses in the last 2 years, so I don't really know how to help you. But we're here for you if you guys do a good job for us. Yes?
Do you all just do your own open house? Like doing other people's?
No, I actually like doing other people's open houses because I feel uncomfortable in my own. Now, granted, if I have a seller who's like, you have to be there, I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah. But again, I also want to pick up leads just the way you guys do. I feel much more comfortable doing somebody else's because I can freely talk about the property and answer their questions. Someone comes in and they're like, they have a price question, or oh, they think, hey, do you think the seller is going to take X? I can't answer that question if it's my own listing. Yeah?
Alex, I don't want to make any assumptions. How do you, I guess, coordinate with someone close to one of your open houses? Tell a little bit about what works for you agents that want to host your open house?
Yeah,
How do you work out the commission?
those leads are yours.
Alex, repeat that.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was asking, how do I work out the commission if an agent comes to me and wants to do my open house? Those leads are totally yours. When we ask for feedback, and this is my last thing on the soapbox, I do not care if the people who came in have an agent or not. That's for you to know, not me. All I care about is what they thought about the house. You pick them up as a lead and they close, that's yours. I don't ask for anything. Just that you show up on time and know what you're talking about and do a good job. Yeah, and not wear crop tops. Appreciate it. Huh?
You mentioned about clothes already. What in your mind is acceptable for guys?
I'm not asking you guys to be in suits. Like, I know, like, I'm not a suit person. Like, my clients know on the weekends in the fall I'm going to be in jeans, boots, and, like, a nice sweater. For a guy, like, you can have a polo shirt on and slacks. That's fine. Like, I'm not asking you guys to get, even in the summer, if they're nice shorts, I don't care. But I've just seen some people in some stuff where, like, I hate to say it, it's more on the girl end, like, boobs out, like, and I'm just like, do you think that a wife is going to be comfortable? Like, it's just, do you want to pick up the client? You attract, like, what you're giving off, right? I'm not, like, super dressed up today. I mean, I can't wear that much anymore, but, I mean, it's enough, right? Like, nothing crazy. I don't wear heels anymore. No thanks. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait, did I skip that slide? Uh-oh. I think these went out of order. Hold on. Yes. Yes.
Would you write a text to right away to get that answer to the client, or tell the client, I'll get back?
If they really, I mean, you guys have to kind of read and recognize a room, right? Like, you know that there's some leads that are going to come through that you're like, not even sure if I want to work with you. But if you're having a good dialogue and somebody, like, really seems interested in the property, and let's say it's a question on, hey, I can tell that there is a patch on the foundation outside. Can you just ask if there's a foundation warranty that gets transferred? Just text the listing agent real quick and say, hey, I've got someone here who's interested. Do you know the answer to this question? It just makes you look like you're on top of it, you're knowledgeable, you're finding out for them. So I would just probably text the listing agent and see. I love when I get questions like that. That's a good question. But if, like, let's say we're busy, we can't answer you right away, just tell them, hey, that's a really good question. Happy to find out for you. I'll get you an email within 24 hours.
How about you answer all the questions?
Yeah. We're going to talk about that. I mean, you're there to be knowledgeable, so don't hide information. You're there not to give it all away, but you also need to answer questions that they have about the house. Yeah. If they don't follow up with you, it wasn't meant to be. Okay. All right, so lead generating to-dos before open houses. Okay. Who here likes seeing themselves on video? Nobody. Oh, you do, but you do because you're so cute. You're okay with it. All right. If you don't like seeing yourself on video, tough. Get used to it. Don't rewatch them. So, okay. Here's what I'm going to say about this. Hold on. I don't know what this is doing. I don't like this thing. Okay. We might have to log in. This thing is going crazy. They're going to let me click it? What? No, I can just go to Facebook and find it. Okay, so a lot of you guys who follow me have seen them, and we can just talk about it. I know everyone likes examples. But what I would do a couple days before the open house is go preview the house. Why do I say preview the house? So you know what you're talking about. Pretty simple, right? But more importantly, it's great promotion for you. Hold on. Okay. I don't know why those links don't work. I'm using Beautiful AI as like a good presentation format, and it is weird. Okay, that's creepy. That's how creepy Facebook is. That's the dresser I bought for the baby yesterday, and I don't know why it popped up. That's really creepy. What? Yeah, that creeps me out though, because like I didn't post anything about that. Okay, I'm gonna try to find a good one for you. What? The one I had was like a while ago, but while we're talking about this, let me try to find. Clearly it's a lot of baby stuff, dog stuff, more baby stuff. Okay, well the video I was trying to show you guys was a very simple, and I'll get to it. It was a very simple, I was in one of my new construction properties and we did a video. It was on a Saturday, but we did a video for the next day, just really quick with me saying, hey, come stop by. We have bagels and orange juice for Father's Day. Open house from blah, blah, blah time on Sunday. And that was it. The reason, you guys, why I do these videos, I'm not even gonna try to find it. The reason why I do these videos, you guys, it's not to promote the open house. It's to promote me. So I don't have like thousands of followers on Instagram and Facebook, but the ones I do are past clients, agents. They're people who are following me and seeing my business grow, and I'm getting business from it. So when I did that like quick blurb video, it's just like literally I turn the camera around, no one's there with me, and I say blah, 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 come visit me tomorrow. What I get is I get comments, and people obviously know what I do for a living, but those are turning into leads down the line. So the next slide I was going to show you. This was a picture of me that I posted, and I talked about a new listing coming up on Inwood. Took us 9 months to sell that stupid house, but, and I said, come visit us at open houses this weekend, blah, blah, blah. Here's a message I got. I don't even know who this person is. She's been following me on Instagram because anytime I post, I always put a neighborhood or like a restaurant that's in the neighborhood, so more people will start following me. And this is what she said. Hi, I saw your post about Walnut Bend Homes being updated and coming soon. We're looking in the area. Would love more info on these two. Do you have an estimated listing price? I told her I'll be at the first open house from this time to this time. Come on by. She didn't like that one. I'm selling their house in January, and they're looking for probably a $1.3 million property at the beginning of the year. That's it. But I'm being authentic while I'm doing it, you guys. I don't make these weird. I don't make them like really fancy. It's just me being consistent with it. So do a video a couple days before of just, hey, I'll be at this house. Love to see you. Talk about it. Whatever, okay? Usually, yeah.
What's your real estate to like post ratio?
That's a really good question. So organically, you want to come up with topics that fit your life, right? So I happen to have like 5 topics that seem to come up. It's family, it's the dog, it's obviously currently the baby, it's real estate, and it's probably still like my workouts. Because when I was like training for my marathon and doing all that, I post about that often. That's in travel, so 6 now. That consistently seems to be my pattern. I notice it will be like too personal, too real estate, but I do try to mix it up. But as long as you guys are posting something every day, I don't think you need to have 2 separate accounts. Do I have my business account and personal? Yes, but everyone likes your personal stuff. It's enough insight into my world without getting too personal though. You're never gonna see me like write anything negative. You're never gonna see me get too deep on something. I keep it pretty light. It's enough for the public to feel like they're getting to know me without like really getting to know me. And yeah, it's personal. I mean, I'm posting about the baby. I'm posting about whatever we're doing and traveling and all that good stuff, but they're not seeing like a ton of insight into it. And I'm always following that up with real estate stuff. My assistant's gotten really good on stories on Instagram. If you guys follow me, there are stories being posted every single day. And I've gotten a ton of feedback from those stories. Yeah.
So you have your business Facebook page and your personal Facebook page?
Yeah.
And do you post just to your personal page and have someone just post to your business page?
Yeah, so I post on Instagram first, which automatically gets posted to my business Facebook page, and then I copy and paste to my personal Facebook. It's all the same content though.
Right.
That way, just in case someone's only following one, but I'm not doing special stuff for business versus personal.
And so is there somebody that can help us, compliant on our Instagram or like Facebook? We have to have our IDS and
I think they've changed all that.
linked to your local way or whatever.
Right, I'm not the person to answer that question.
Easier to use that.
Yeah, I would ask Marilyn to answer that question for you. Yeah. You good? You sure?
My question, yeah.
Okay.
No. So do you
No. Nope. All of this is like authentic. Every once in a while, if I have like a listing that I like want to get a little boost on, I might, but no, not really. People would rather see you than a paid ad post. Yeah. Okay.
So Alex, I'm getting the feedback. You gotta repeat the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. She asked, do I do paid ads? No, I don't.
Why don't you use the microphone?
Huh?
The microphone to pass around?
Oh, it's right there. Good call. Okay. So you're gonna do a video before. Okay. I've seen some agents do this, and this is pretty cool. They also might go to like a local new like restaurant or some business in the area, and they might do a promo video that's local to the open house that they're doing. So like last week, I do pop buys, right? Because I'm part of Buffini. I went and got Michael's cookies, and they were doing a promotion that like it was art boxes that went like $10 went to Meals on Wheels. And we did like a quick little post with them saying thank you so much for the cookies. And I was going to be at an open house right down the street, promoted the open house, included Michael's. Michael's commented back later that day and said thank you so much for promoting our business. So it's like a triple whammy. I got my Popeyes in, I promoted Michael's, and I promoted the open house coming up. You guys see where I'm going with all this? Like, I'm all about time saving. Like, let's combine it all in one. Makes you look really good. Like, yay, we fed the kids, which is awesome. And the art boxes are cute. Okay. Reverse prospecting emails. This is something I used to do a lot more of, but I would go to the listing agent and say, can you please do you know what the reverse prospecting emails are, right? Okay, I would go to the listing agent and say, can you do a reverse prospecting email for my open house that I'm doing for you? I was getting a lot of feedback that agents who actually like weren't paying attention to their client searches, because you know those searches are set up automatically. I was getting people in my open houses that said, hey, I saw your reverse prospecting email. My agent forwarded it over and wanted me to come by. So this isn't more as much for leads, but at least it's getting more people in the front door. You guys would be shocked at how many people are like neighbors that are looking for a friend that I get all the time that will come by and say, hey, I'm already like represented, but I have a friend that's looking in the neighborhood. My agent happened to pass this email on to me, and they might need help finding something. So those reverse prospecting emails work as well. Yeah. Yeah, you do it it's through Matrix, right? I don't know, my girls do it now. I just tell them do it. Yes. So basically, if like an agent has a search set up for somebody and your listing or whatever listing you're going to do an open house for meets their criteria, you can go to that listing agent and say, hey, can you send a reverse prospecting email promoting the open house that I'm about to do? Exactly. But with that being said, I've had people show up unrepresented because an agent sent it to a client who shared it with a friend and said, hey, you know, I know you're looking in this area, stop by this open house. And I've picked up leads that way. So just another idea. Okay. So posting open house details on social media. Creating stories, we talked about that. I usually have my assistants, and you guys do this. For whatever open house I'm doing for that week, she does my listings in between, but then she does stories every day for the open house that I'm going to be doing on that Saturday. So you guys all know how to do stories on Instagram? Yeah? No? Okay, that's a whole separate social media class. But I would say, like, start your stories on Monday, and the way she does it for me is she'll, like, feature the living room first, and then she'll feature the dining room next, and then she'll feature the remodeled bathroom the next day. So they're consistently, like, new stories throughout the day. What I notice is people come back to those, and they're past clients who are looking at that stuff. So again, I'm not only promoting open houses to try to lead generate that way, but you guys will start to slowly see over time, people will come to you because they're seeing your stuff on social media. And it all relates back to the open houses you're doing. So I'm using the content of the open house I'm doing on the weekend to build my content out through the week. And again, this works for anyone. You don't have to have a listing because you're promoting someone else's listing. And if I'm a listing agent and I have some really awesome agents in here who do open houses for me, you did an open house for me this weekend, and you put some really cool stories on there. I asked you to tag me on those, and then I did them, and then other people see them. Makes you look good, makes me look good. They don't know that it's not your listing. Crazy how that works. Okay. During the open house, and this is what obviously you guys want to talk the most about. So during the open house, here are some musts. I have used the same app the entire 4.5 years I have been in real estate. Open Home Pro. Who uses Open Home Pro? If you do not use Open Home Pro, I suggest you use it now. If you do not have an iPad, I suggest you invest in one now. I do not have a piece of paper. I don't print anything at my open houses. I don't even have flyers. No one cares about a flyer. What are they going to do with a flyer? Throw it away. Exactly. Print all you want. Bozart loves when people print at the office. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I do not print a single thing at my open houses. I barely give away cards anymore, you guys. So when I get calls and agents are like, oh my gosh, I'm running late. I had to print something. I'm like, cool. It's not going to do anything for you. Yeah. There's a free version, but the one I pay for is better because of a couple of things. It automatically collects all the data for you, and the paid version, when you end an open house, it automatically sends out an email to everyone saying thank you so much for coming. So to me, that's completely beneficial because A, I've now collected a database, and B, I don't have to run home to respond to people because they've at least seen something from me. And I can see when they've opened that email. I don't know. Probably. I've never used it.
How can we get this presentation?
You're not. Just email me if you want something. Okay, take pictures of it. If I share it with one person, I have to share it with 10 million people, and that takes hours, and just come find me if you have a question. Okay, so Open Home Pro is a must. I have it on my iPad. Before you get to the open house, this is really cool and easy. Take screenshots on your iPad of the listing on Heart, of the pictures of the house. You can add the photos to Open Home Pro. When you first open Open Home Pro and you start a new open house, it's like this ugly like wood background. Why not have pretty photos of the house displaying, right? Again, like just making you look more professional. Took 10 seconds. And then when you send the email after, it's pretty pictures that they see of the actual house they met you in as a reminder. So do that before you get to the open house. Okay, signs. How many signs do I put out? I put out at least 15 signs per open house. And I do not want to hear any of you make excuses for it being hot because I am large and pregnant and I still put out 15 signs. Why? Because every time I ask somebody, oh, how did you hear about this property? 99% of people are going to say it was a drive-by. Right. So somebody this weekend at casino night told me, oh, I have my jug of water with me and I pour it into the ground to like make the ground softer to get, and I was like, that's so smart. Because I'm like there like banging things and it doesn't work. But yes, 15 signs. Tough. If you're sweaty, bring another pair of clothes. if you guys are taking the time to do these, like, don't be lazy. You realize, like, if my husband and I are out, like, doing errands and I know I have a listing around the corner, I'm like, ooh, can you drive by real quick? He's like, stop being creepy, and I see one sign out. And then, yes.
Your signs branded to you, or are they just
No,
open house?
just Keller Williams. Should I probably, by this time in my business, get my pretty Alexandra Megan Holmes logo ones? Maybe, because I do a lot of open houses in the neighborhood. Probably, but no, I do not. I go to Karina and say, hey, I ruined 15, give me 15 more. Why is it? I sound so mean. So no, they are nothing special, you guys. They're absolutely nothing special. They're the Keller Williams signs. I've been saying for weeks I should go probably get my own, but
What do those run you?
I don't know.
They're cheap, guys. It's not about, look, if you live in Katy, you've got Nicole Freer out there, and she's built a $60 million business, and they're all branded. You don't have to go all out like that. You can do this very inexpensively, what we're hearing.
The other thing you can do, you can buy white duct tape, and you can write the address and time on it. Or in the house, and that just comes right off.
Yeah, duct tape. What a novel concept. We're not getting fancy here. Yes.
So when someone asks you, hey, do you have a flyer? So I have the information of the house.
We're going to get to that. That's why they fill in.
What additional value did you give them?
We're going to talk about that too. Okay, you guys good on that? Wait, sorry, she had a question.
I give up.
Yeah, that's why I think they're great. Like this, you guys, this is not rocket science. People like overthink this. A bright red sign versus a black sign. I would go with the red sign. Like just buy them. If someone ruins them, like I've gotten emails like somebody stole 5 of my signs. I'm like, cool, it happens. Go buy them. They're still gonna steal them, and it's neighbors. Yes, still see. And I agree. And I'm going to be that agent that's going to be like, I really don't care if this is in someone else's yard, if they move it, whatever. Like, so sue me. I don't care. Okay. Cool. Okay. What do you bring to an open house? We're going to kind of get back to that at the end here, but I literally have my iPad and my purse. That's about it. And my business cards. And for those of you that like paper, I'll talk about what you can bring, but I don't do this. Okay, scripts. This is like the bread and butter. If you learn anything today, this is what we're going to talk about that's important. Everyone always asks me, how do you guys actually convert people? Okay, let's talk about it. This is really easy. How many of you guys do usually end up doing like the 3 stories? 1 stories. Okay, I'm in a lot of 3 stories because I'm in Rice Military, Edo. Okay, if you're on a 1 story, sit at the kitchen, at the counter, bring your laptop. How many of you guys have a hotspot? Everyone should have a hotspot here. You all have a hotspot on your phone. You probably just don't know how to use it. I use my open house time as time to work. It's time away from my husband. It's time away from my dog. I'm going to be on the computer working anyways, right? I'm working while I'm at an open house. My laptop is up. My iPad is up with the open house running. So when someone walks in, they can sign in. So I'm always at the kitchen. I'm not at the dining room. That's too formal. I'm not sitting at these 3 stories. A lot of them have the first bedroom downstairs and they convert that to an office. I'm not like at the office, like ready to go. I'm always like away from the front door. Somebody walks in. If it's a 3-story, I'll usually peek my head over the railing and say, hi, take a look around, I'm upstairs. If it's a 1-story and someone walks in, hey, my name's Alex, nice to meet you, take a look around, let me know if you have any questions. And I go right back to what I'm doing. Why do you guys think that is? Exactly. I'm giving them time to breathe. You won't believe how many of my buyers who go to open houses on the weekend, because I don't take them everywhere, will call me and be like, oh my gosh, these open house hosts are so annoying. They bombard me with information from the second I walk through the front door. All I am doing is introducing myself and allowing them to go right back to what that person was doing, okay? 9 times out of 10, they're going to want to go walk the house. I do not walk the house with them. Do not be that creepy agent that is like, let me show you every little thing in this house. You will lose them. You just shake your heads, but like there's so many open houses I walk into that I'm like, oh my gosh, if this agent says one more thing to me and my client, I'm going to smack them. Just give them time. Yes. No. Don't care. $1 million house, go do your thing. That also shows them I am not needy. I do not need their business. I am busy doing something. When you are ready to talk to me, I will be ready to answer your questions. Those $800,000 homes, to be honest, those people want their space. Okay? Yes.
What do you do when back to work, 2 minutes later they walk right up?
They're not going to, because here's why. They're going to go walk the house. They have to come around you at some point, right? So you're going to be prepared for that, right? So they've looked at the house. Once they I do a lot of, again, 3 stories. Once they're coming back down the stairs, then I say to them, so what do you guys think? That's it. 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you all the reasons why they hate the house. I hate the paint color. I hate the floor plan. I hate the color of the cabinets. Okay, cool. Do you have any other questions about this property? No, usually is what they're going to tell me. Great, so tell me what you're looking for. So I just handled the objectives of, I'm here to answer any questions you have about that house. I've asked those questions first. And then my next question is always, so tell me what you're looking for. Normally when you ask it just like that, people are going to start to give you a slew of information. I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, blah, 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 blah. They can spew all that off, but my next question is always, tell me more about why you're moving and why you're looking. I don't care about what they're looking for, you guys. I care about building a relationship while we're in the house. You guys will be shocked at within 5 minutes the information I find out that somebody gives me by the way I've asked these questions. Yes?
You said it really quick. Next,
Tell me more about why you're. No, it'll. Yeah, and like what you're looking for. It's usually a 2-part question. And the reason being is because then you're going to get, like this weekend, I got a girl. Well, my husband and I aren't getting along that well, and I'm 3 months pregnant. And I just want to know what my options are. Clearly, she felt comfortable telling me that. But it was the way that I asked the question. And I'm always trying to get 3 whys deep when I'm asking those questions. So she tells me that information, and I ask her, okay, well, by you moving, how is that going to help you? I'm always asking multiple questions to get to the next level. If we can help you find something in the next few months, how is that going to make your life easier? Yes?
So at what point do you get them to sign into open home?
We're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Yeah.
So when do you remember, you have to deal with how people coming in and out?
Yeah.
You asking questions, you're getting information from them.
How likely is it that 5 people are going to walk in the front door at the same time on an open house? Then you're probably not going to get everybody. That's awesome if you're getting that many people. But you guys also have to, we are in sales. You guys have to read and recognize who are you going to go after. You're not going to get everybody, but you have to get that one person you connected with, that you made a connection with. That is the person you want to go after. The couple that's writing you off and is rude from the beginning, some of those people though become my best clients. So don't automatically judge somebody, but that's great. I mean, I rarely have that circumstance where multiple people are coming in and out at the same exact time. Yeah. If we can help you find something in the next few months, how is that going to make your life easier? If you guys haven't been in sales or read Sales 101 books, this is basic Sales 101. You are asking open-ended questions to get the best information out of possible, to get them to put their guard down and build a relationship with them. That is all I am here to do. Once they've given me those answers, my next question is, awesome, thank you so much. Do you have anybody helping you right now? I never say, do you have an agent? Are you working with an agent? Is an agent helping you look for something? It sounds really tacky.
Do you have somebody working with
Nope, helping you. How different does that sound than are you working with an agent? Are you working with an agent immediately sounds like I am trying to get your business. I want to make money off you. If I'm asking them, do you have anyone that's helping you? It makes me sound like I'm genuinely asking, is anyone helping you look for a house? Perfect. I'm happy to provide your agent with all of this info. My seller still needs to know who's coming in and out of their house. Please go ahead and fill out all your info on my iPad. So after we've talked about, is anyone helping you? Yes, no, whatever. Okay, great. Based on the info you gave me, I'm going to follow up with you later today. If you could go ahead and fill out your information on my iPad, I'll make sure to get back to you within 24 hours. I never have anyone say no to filling that out. People who tell me they have agents, I still follow up the same way I would with anybody else, and it shocks me how many of them a week later, oh, well, that was my brother. He just got his license 2 weeks ago. We really appreciated the information you provided me. Do you think you could help me? Don't disregard anyone because they tell you that they're working with someone. They're lying. Yeah.
Your follow-up, is it in addition to the auto email?
Yes.
So
Yes.
they get an auto email and then you follow up.
Yes, we're going to talk about that. Are you guys good on those scripts? This is not hard. It's literally the way you ask the questions. And just how some of you guys right now are like, oh, I got to say the right thing. I got to get to the next thing. Take a second and get to know the person you're talking to. We're not here just to make commission, just to get a sale. We're here to get to know these people. That's how you build those relationships and you get those referrals down the road. I'm here to help you. And I happen to be an expert in the area and I happen to be really good at what I do. But how can I help you? It is amazing how much people put their guards down and will be so open to you if you ask questions the right way. And they're not a lot of questions. We're not sitting there for half an hour. It's quick. So once I get them, I've said, okay, great, help you. Here, and then I always tell them, here's what I'm going to do for you. I don't ask them, can I put a search together? I tell them, based on the info you gave me, I'm going to go ahead and follow up with you by tomorrow morning, but I'm going to go ahead and put an automatic search together for you. I don't know what the real data on this is, but technically they get the new listing like right when it hits the market. So I technically tell them you get notified of new listings a little bit before the public does. So it kind of makes it sound like they're getting something exclusive. You'll get notified when any properties have a price drop as well. If there's anything on your search that you see that you like, call, text me, and we'll go take a look anytime. Yes. And I always have my social media stuff at the bottom. So again, I'm not asking them if I can put a search together. I'm telling them what their next steps are, nicely. People like to be told what to do. Yes. Yeah, so here's what's going to happen. So after I do that, they fill their stuff out. I say, okay, thanks so much. It was so great talking to you. I'll get all this info together for you within the next 24 hours. If anything comes up, feel free to call or text me. Awesome. After the open house is over, I end the Open Home Pro, and those emails automatically go out to these people, okay? So what that does for me is it gives me a little bit of time to breathe, and I don't feel like I have to run home and answer stuff and ignore my husband and the dog. Like, I can answer it now tomorrow, right? Yes. Maybe. I'll share what my follow email says. You guys are smart individuals, like super smart. You have to customize a lot of your emails to how you sound. I'm going to sound different than somebody else who's a little bit formal is, right? You have to let your personality out a little bit in this business, just a little. You have something to say?
Yeah, just don't take any more questions. I'm getting bombarded.
Oh, okay.
Just let everybody ask questions at the end.
Got it. Okay. So that goes out, and then the next morning, I'm going to send an email to each person So you guys can probably barely see this. I was trying to make it bigger. But in answer to your question, I don't even know if I can read this. But basically, here's my follow-up email. It says, "Hi Claire, so nice meeting you at the open house at 1119 Winston Street on Sunday. I usually always put, you guys can't see it, but I always put a link to the property so they can see which property it is. Because if they went to 10 open houses, how are they going to remember you?" Okay. And then I've taken notes. So after the person leaves an Open Home Pro, I always put a note saying like, "Sweet couple, looking for blah, blah, blah." So I don't have to go back and ask them, right? I've already remembered what they're looking for. I don't know if it's going to, oh, you're awesome. It's not going to get bigger. I try doing this. But basically, I try to make the email as personal as possible so they remember that I was paying attention to them. Okay? So in this particular email, I said we discussed putting together a search for homes that are turnkey ready in walking distance to restaurants, bars, parks, etc. Because I've been in the business a while, I know a lot of off-market listings, right? I know a lot of off-market builders. So I try to, again, get as personal as possible and tell that person, I do have a few off-market new construction listings being built in the area off 24th I'd love to show you. I've had multiple people purchase from this builder. They do a great job, blah, 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 blah. So I've made the email personal. It's not just, "Thanks so much for coming by." Yeah. Yes. Yes. Each email coming from me to that person I bonded with is getting as personal of an email as possible. I just met a girl this weekend. "Hey, Megan, it was so nice talking to you, about your future plans. Congrats on the baby. Here's your search link. It was really nice getting to know you. If you see anything on here that interests you, I'm happy to show you." Sometimes I'll even go through their search and put links to like 3 or 4 properties I really think that they would like based on the information that they gave me. I take about 2 hours every weekend to do these. It's not just an auto email that's going out from me. And it's based on those notes I put into Open Home Pro. Yeah. Here, use the mic. We're going to get yelled at.
Now, do you also make a follow-up phone call to make sure that they got the portal?
Nope. I text them.
Okay.
People don't answer their phones these days. So then I text them and I say, "Hey, Megan, sent you an email with a link to your portal. Please make sure, let me know you got it." 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, I'll get a text, "Got it. Thank you so much." Okay. So when I've put their search together, you guys will understand what searches I'm talking about, right? I'm putting their search together through Matrix. Nothing fancy, nothing special. Put the search together. Make sure you copy yourself on that search. I know it's annoying because you're getting 10 million emails, but you guys, this is how I convert the most business through open houses, because I'm watching those new listings hit the market. This is how I follow up with them weekly. Whatever referral-based system you use, again, I use Referral Maker. Any hot lead I got from an open house goes into my potential business list. On Mondays, that's who I follow up with. Again, it's a text. "Hey, just making sure you're looking at the search. Haven't seen you heart anything. Is there anything we need to change on the search that would make it more appealing to you?" Or however you need to follow up with that. But those people are now going into my database as well. Yes. I use Referral Maker. It's a Brian Buffini program. Some of you guys probably use eEdge. Some of you use all different kinds of stuff. Some of you might use an Excel spreadsheet. However you keep track of your business, these people are my main hot leads. So they are going to be my main potentials that I now am following up with. I will follow up with them. Yeah, do you have a question? No. Oh. Yeah, I highly recommend you guys all take it. Yeah.
Why are you using HAR instead?
Because I will answer that question later. Because HAR works for me. I'm like basic. Like whatever works and I know is going to work and not have issues is what I'm going to use. Will that transfer over? Yes, probably. We're working on that, but we're not there yet. So on Mondays, when I'm following up, I'm looking at their search and I'm going back and I'm saying, hey, Megan, so nice to meet you on Saturday. I saw this property pop up, thought you might be interested, let me know. I usually will send them 1 or 2 properties a week based on their automatic search that they're getting every Monday, just as a follow-up. A lot of times you guys won't get responses right away, but they're looking at your stuff. I will get emails 2-3 months later. I just got an email from a girl named Jenny who I met at an open house about 4 months ago. She didn't respond to one of my emails, and all of a sudden she's like, hey, Alex, we've been looking at the search. This house just popped up. Can we go see it Thursday? Okay. All from those auto emails. So I think a lot of you guys just give up and you're like, well, I haven't heard a response right away, and you move on. Do not move on. So those people are not only going to have their search set up, there are people who've had their searches with me set up for 3 years that have come back and said, I'm ready. Don't even remember who they are. I have to go back and like look at where I met them. Still don't remember who they are. So I had a girl over, was this last week? Wait, where is it? Okay. This girl, she's been following me on Instagram. I put her and her boyfriend into a lease over 3 years ago. Hey, congrats on your pregnancy. Want to get in touch. CJ and I are purchasing a home in December. I don't know what that meant, August. I think that was a mistake. If we can't find something we like by December, would you help us? So haven't spoken to this lead in over 3 years. I said I thanked her for contacting me, and she said, I love all of your open house videos on Instagram. So this goes back to why I consistently do the videos. She's been watching my stuff without me even knowing, but she's also been she's had a search set up for 3 years. Helped her in a lease, and she said, I still have your rental search set up. I like looking at the houses. Okay. Yeah. It all depends on the person. That's what we're talking about at the open house, yes. And again, you don't want to bombard them with too much information. Don't get too specific about it. The point is that 99% of agents do not follow up after open houses. The fact that you're even taking the time to do all of this for somebody shows that you are serious and committed to that person. My email will always say to them at the end, if there's any criteria we need to change on this search, just let me know and I'm happy to update it. Anyone's search is going to change over time. Even referrals, they'll tell you I have to be in this neighborhood, and 2 weeks later they're like, I hate that neighborhood. It's just about getting the next step. Yeah. Yeah, you can take notes in Open Home Pro. Yeah. So but this is leading back to, hey, not only are we doing a good thing with the videos, but they're watching all this stuff you're doing. Okay. So I wanted to go back for those of you who feel like you have to have something on paper. Jack Hawthorne just taught a class and he said create a folder. I have not done this, but I know some of you feel like you have to have paper. What he has said is create a folder that includes a clue sheet. It includes about the team, a brag sheet, and a neighborhood sheet. His whole point to a folder is that people will lose a piece of paper, but they won't lose a folder. It's providing information about yourself and providing valuable information about the neighborhood without having to brag about yourself or without having to talk about things too much. I wanted to add this for you guys that need paper. I don't do this. I don't feel the need for it. To me, printing is a waste of time, but totally up to you guys if you need a folder. I'm there to build the relationship, and I feel like anytime I'm handing somebody something, they're paying attention to what I'm handing them, not talking to me. Just my personal opinion. Okay, so another thing I was going to talk to you guys about real quick about these emails, I have started doing BombBomb videos attached to these emails. Do you guys all know what BombBomb is? Okay. BombBomb's a video program. You can really quickly on the app or on your computer do a really quick video. Hey, thanks so much for coming by my open house at 3412 Center Street. It was really nice meeting you. I've put your search together. If you see anything that you like in the near future, go ahead and call and text me, and I'd love to show you the property. It's just another way because people will open video 10 times more than they will look at an email. So that's another thing you guys can do as well. I think that KW has like a free video. Don't they have like a free video thing too?
It
That's just like 3 or 4 templates.
Okay.
And I think it's 100.
Okay. The reason again why I like BombBomb videos is because you can see when somebody opens it. So with that being said, so they're getting multiple touches. So now this lead not only is getting an email from me after the open house automatically, they're getting a personal email from me 24 hours later with a video. They're also now on my email campaign. So they're getting a BombBomb video from me twice a month, plus something interesting about the market once a month. Most people don't tell me to stop. If anything, I've gotten emails back saying, thank you so much for valuable information. And what I'm providing is information about the market. I'm providing stuff about remodels. I'm not providing, hey, call me if you want to buy or sell. That's not what I'm here for. I want these people who meet me to know that I'm a wealth of knowledge about the market and they can call me for anything. Yeah. Be creative, you guys. BombBomb has a whole real estate section that has a ton of topics, but like I just kind of go off what people ask me. What's a hot topic right now? Interest rates are super low. So the email that I went out on the first was talking about how low interest rates were. If you're thinking about refinancing, if you're thinking about maybe upgrading to a bigger house, now is the time to do it. If you want to get in touch with my lender or me and we can talk about those options, give me a call. I got like 12 responses to that last email I sent out with a BombBomb video. Yeah. It's typed, it's me in a video, and then there's also like sales sheets about information. Yes.
Guys, seriously, let's wait on questions.
I'm gonna follow you.
Wait on questions.
Okay.
Just wait till the end. It'll be a lot more efficient.
I know, we're almost there. Okay. And okay, so based on this, you guys, that's all I do. I am not picking up the phone and calling these people. Crazy, I know, but I'm following up through emails and texts. Yeah. Nope. No, I don't. Because here's the thing. I'm also working with a lot of people, obviously, that are similar to my age. Our age does not like phone calls. We're busy. Works for me. You guys can totally disagree. I've been doing this for 4.5 years, and it's gotten me a lot of business. So do it how you want. I do not call. The only time I'm calling is then when someone has responded to my email saying, hey, I want to see these properties. Then I'm saying, hey, awesome. Do you have 10 minutes today so we can chat? But I'm not calling. And I get more responses from my text messages than anything else. People will totally disagree with that, but that's cool. Done a lot of business from it. Okay, no more questions. That's it. So then they stay on a drip campaign, and most of them, again, years later, will see my stuff. These numbers are really hard to see. This is from my referral maker, but I looked at the numbers. So in this year to date, January to now, I've done over 12 million in volume from open houses. And I relate that to the people I've picked up at open houses this year, or I relate that to people I picked up at open houses 4 years ago who now I'm selling their properties I've sold to them, and they referred me to people. Those numbers after this month will be over 13 million. That all goes back to somebody I met at an open house. My best referral clients are people I have met at open houses. I have one referral client that I met, I will never forget this, at an open house I did for Oscar Hernandez when I first started. I helped them buy a $610,000 house in the Heights. I sold their house the beginning of this year. I got them into something in Timber Grove for $800,000. They referred me to 10 other clients that bought and sold. Their price point was all over $600,000 from one open house 4 years ago. Do you think I'm going to stop doing them? Like, those are like people that literally walked through the front door and we had a conversation and we've been able to build those relationships. So all in all, most of my business, over 13 million this month, will be somehow from an open house. Crazy. The baby's just gonna come with me once she gets here. Okay, we showed you that. So that's pretty much it. I know we've got to finish, and that was a lot of information, but that's all I'm doing. And the only thing I think that makes me different is I do them consistently, you guys. My week looks the same every single week. And open houses are my focus. I'm not doing anything else. Yes, do I have an ISA making calls for other lead sources for me? Yes, but I do not touch those. They set those appointments. My focus is on my videos, my social media content, and doing open houses every weekend. Yes.
Okay, when you set up a
Hold on, we're gonna get the microphones going around. One question that's come in, how much time do you spend in the course of a week with open houses? With follow-up, the actual open houses, how much time of your week is?
Between actually doing the open house, the videos, and the follow-up, it's probably only about 5 hours.
So 5 hours a week, 20 hours a month?
Yeah.
20 hours a month, right? When we look at the traditional real estate agent who works 90 hours a week, they say, this is 20 hours a month of dedication to a $20 million business. It's not time on task, it's what you do with that time, right? Here's another question we got. If Alex doesn't touch on this, can you ask if she ever holds other people's open houses and how outside of Keller Williams Memorial, so just solely within?
Just builders. I mean, I guess if they count.
All right, so we're gonna pass the mic down this way, and you can go ahead and grab that one. And just wait till you have a mic to ask a question.
No. Okay. I imagine when you set the portal, most of the time you spoke with the person and asked what you're looking for and you know the area. But how about the times you didn't get there because the person was too fast or whatever? Do you use the radio around the property you were in? How big is that radio? 1 mile?
If I didn't feel like I got enough information from the person, then I will reach out via text and say, hey, thanks so much. Met you yesterday. I'm putting your search together for you. We didn't get a lot of chance to talk about X. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for? In that circumstance, I might pick up the phone and call real quick. But again, in my personal experience, I get more responses and more thank yous and follow up if I'm texting somebody. And I would still, and answer that question, if you don't get a response, I would still put some kind of search together for them. That way, at least they're starting to get something, even though it's not perfect.
So if you do that, it'll be what, 1 mile around? Where
No,
you
I don't do
are,
a
or-
radius. I do geographic market area. So you know how you can choose geo market area? If I met them in Rice Military, I'm choosing Rice Military through, and then I'm doing a house that's similar to the one that I met them in.
Okay.
Right here. Sorry. So when they refuse to give you their information, do you?
I
push
don't have
them?
that happen. Here's how I do this. Thanks so much for coming by. My seller requires that you complete your info on the iPad, and I make a joke out of it. I promise you're not going to get bombarded by emails. And then I make a note later saying this person did not want to fill this out. Just send them the follow-up email. Remember, you guys, they're coming in to your open house. They do not own the property. Like, ask them for information. Don't be scared to ask them. It also shows that I am very confident in what I am doing. Sucks that you showed up, but if you showed up, you should be expected to do what I ask you to do.
So when they say, my name is enough.
Okay,
give
bye.
you-
Don't worry about it. But do you really want to work with that person anyways? See ya.
So do you set up the searches even though they may say they have a realtor?
Yes. Yep. Wait, I can't hear.
I'm not asking a question, I'm just saying this. I really love all of you guys, but you know nothing pissed me off more than when you guys volunteered to do one of my open houses and you are calling me to say, is it on Super? You're on your way to the open house. That pisses me off. Please do your homework. Don't just show up to the open house minutes before it starts and don't know a damn thing about the house. Haven't toured the neighborhood, please.
That was a whole slide, but good. So just to answer that, my assistants send you guys very clear instructions that says, please sign up through CSS. We ask for feedback through CSS, so my seller automatically gets it and through an email so I can keep record of it. Again, like common sense stuff. When you have listings and you want the feedback for your seller, you're gonna ask for the same thing. We're not trying to be mean. There's a reason for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Alex, I have a question. How far, I mean, how long do you take it off from the matrix on the search? Or you just keep them going?
Infinitely.
So until they purchase and you remove them from the
Infinitely, yeah. And there's people that are going to fall off, and that's why I said keep that 6 to 12 week like follow up weekly of like, hey, have you seen this one? Eventually you're going to move on to other people, but that search is always still there. And I am shocked every year at how many people will respond after a year that I can't remember, and they're like, hey, I've been getting your search, we're ready. But they're also part of my other mailing stuff, which is why they automatically get my bonbon videos every month. because they're consistently seeing my face. It's not on.
Once they say they're working with a realtor, do you ask more questions? How do you start sending properties? Is
Yeah,
they
we
already
still-
working with someone?
We still talk about it. I mean, I still ask them questions. My auto email that goes out says, "Thanks so much for coming by. You know, if you or your agent needs more information," so I'm addressing that. And then, but if they've told me like, "Hey," because normally 9 times out of 10 I ask, "Is anyone helping you?" and they're saying no, and if they do, it's kind of then I ask, "Well, has anyone put together a customized website search together for you?" Most of the time they're like, "No, what is that?" Cool. Yes.
I got a question, Alex.
Yeah.
I guess I'll stand up. So you host multiple open houses. How often do you host the same open house?
I love hosting the same open houses.
Do you stick with the
So
same
once I get comfortable in a house, like I love it because then you guys get good at it. And oftentimes too, you'll have people come back. Like I had one, it was my listing that I needed to be at because it was an investor. I sat there for 2 months. The same person came back 4 times. They ended up buying the house. And they didn't want representation on that deal, so it worked out well for everybody. So it's nice when you can say, "Hey, it's good to see you again." That'll happen. Yes.
What is your monthly bomb video saying?
We talked about that. So it goes out on the 1st, and the 1st is always some kind of real estate content. So like this month on the 1st, it was about interest rates being so low. And I combined it with like my lender and said, you know, if you guys are looking for refi, if you're looking to upgrade, call us and we'd love to give you some more information. And then another one goes out on the 15th, and that I pull from the real estate topics that BombBomb provides, and it's something fun. Like last month, it was one on like vision boards and getting your fall organized, and then we talk about like that. It's like fun something or other.
And is this going to your whole database?
Correct.
I have one more question. So you mentioned earlier on that, you know, you kept on following up with the open house with a client with a customer you met at the open house. Then 3 months later, they send you an email. "Hey, I'm interested in this house. Why not you show us this house?" You said you are going to pick up the phone, give them a quick call. So why you want to talk to them on the phone?
Because when they're telling me they want to go see something, that's like my go of like, "Hey, you want to go see stuff? Let's really talk about like, have you been pre-approved? Let's talk about what it's going to look like. I'm going to set up a buyer's consult." At that point, then I'm picking up the phone and saying, "You're a real client at that point."
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
In Open Home Pro, do you use the standard questions?
No. So the only questions I have are name, phone number, email address, what's your time frame for looking, and are you working with an agent? It's only 5 questions. Do not have more than that. No, I think the standard's like 7 or 8.
Can you repeat them, please?
It's name, phone number, email, what's your time frame for looking, and are you working with an agent? And then Open Home Pro, if you put not working with an agent, it automatically puts those as hot leads for you. Correct.
So when you're talking with them in the open house, your question is someone helping you? But on your Open Pro,
It asks, "Are you working?" I can't change that.
Okay.
People are going to remember the conversation more than the questions. If they give you an agent's name, done. Like, I leave them be. They'll get the follow-up email because, again, that follow-up email says, "Thank you so much for coming by. If you or your agent need more information, please have them or you contact me." So I'm covering myself that way. But the reality of that happening is I've maybe had people give me an agent's name 10 times out of the hundreds of open houses I've done. So that really doesn't seem to be a problem. Who's next? Yeah.
Maybe it's the last one.
Okay, good. Alex, I kind of struggle every time I put someone in a drip campaign to know how often I should send out the emails, because you can choose every day or a few times a week or Sundays or Fridays.
That's a good
Mondays.
question. So to me, if they tell me that they're actively looking, they're getting it ASAP. Until they tell me to stop, they're getting it as soon as something new hits the market. Because again, you're touching them without you having to lift a finger. Yeah. If they're telling me they're 3 to 6 months out, they're getting it daily. And if they're telling me that they're more than 6 months out, they're still getting it daily.
Daily, okay. AM or PM?
I always do morning.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to know what CRM you use. You use the one that we have on the KW site?
No, I'm using Buffini, Referral Maker. Referral Maker, mm-hmm.
Last 3 questions, I say.
Now, when you say drip campaigns, are you strictly just talking about the property search, or are we actually talking about traditional e-edge drip campaigns in conjunction with?
So that's what I meant by those BombBomb videos. So they're getting the search, and then they're going into my database, which is Referral Maker. They're getting 2 BombBomb videos from me a month, plus Buffini's mail out as well. So they're getting at least 3 formal touches from me with information about real estate or something fun. So they're now part of like my family. And then they're getting their drips, or they're getting their search. And remember, you guys, like my business is like, it's informal but formal. The way you hear me talk about whatever, like I'll give you one more like really silly example from this weekend that I thought was hysterical. My videos that people see, so whether it's an email video from me or it's something else. It is Saturday. This was this weekend. It is officially September in Houston and it's still 100 degrees outside, which is awesome when I'm doing open houses. And officially 7 months pregnant, past 7 months, and I am huge. So that's not what I'm here to talk about, though. I'm here to talk about a newer listing of mine at 3412 Center Street. It's in Rice Military, really close to Washington Ave, walking distance to tons of bars and restaurants. You've got Clutch, Pink's Pizza, sushi spots, local foods, you name it. You've also got Memorial Park right down the street, HEB, Starbucks. You've got everything in walking or biking distance from you. But the really cool thing about this property, I'm here on the 3rd floor, which is solely the master suite. And I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see it. But this house, it's a 3-3. One of the bedrooms on the 1st floor, it's huge. So it could. Okay, so that video while I was talking in the open house got cut off. Okay, I walked up all 3 flights of stairs, and when I got to do the video, I was like, damn it, it cut off. My post was literally, this is how informal I am, but we make it fun, and I'm gonna tell you in a sec. I think my video got cut off and I'm not walking back up all those stairs, so you'll have to come see me at 3412 Center Street in Rice Military. Well, if you follow me on Instagram, I did go back up the stairs and I did take video of those closet spaces that I was about to talk about. But this is my point. I'm being authentic when I'm in the open house, and I'm reflecting that in my videos. People are getting a feel for who I am as a person. Somebody contacted me after this open house. Again, I haven't spoken to them in forever. They followed me on Facebook and said, I have a friend looking. Can we go grab dinner with them on Tuesday tonight, which I'm going to at 6:30 from that video. That video was not perfect. It cut off. So my point to you guys is enjoy this. Have fun with it. Show who you are as a person. This does not need to be, I am not Mr. Professional Business. And those are the people I attract. I attract families. I attract fun people. That's who I want to work with. Okay, so when you're doing these open houses, again, these don't need to be perfect. Your conversation doesn't need to be perfect. It's about building the relationship with these people. Make sense? Yes.
So with incorporating the Buffini method, are you using note cards or sending out personalized note cards to anyone? Okay.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm supposed to. No.
And then also, you've kind of intertwined it throughout your presentation, but can you just give like a clear setup of like a block schedule you use to follow up? Because I find that my time can be consumed with other things after the open house, and that
24 hours after, so the morning after the open house, I'm responding to those emails. So let's be real. I'm usually working out in the morning, and I'm not going to get to them usually until like 10:30. But those are going out that next morning. Their search, that is my main priority. When I get into the office, if I have open house people from the weekend, Monday morning is that I'm putting those above my current contracts. You guys, I have anywhere from 9 to 13 people under contract at any given time. My leads I got from the open houses come before my current contracts. Get it done. Yes. Yes.
I would like to add something. Hello? Hello? Right here.
Oh.
You said that you offer that they possibly might get the email or notification before it's public. It is true. I set clients up on a search. If there's a price change, I will get a notification via text to my cell phone, where then I turned and called my client and I said, look, they just had a price drop. Do you want me to enter the contract at this price?
It does. I mean, it's going to hit the market. It's going to hit MLS right after, but you are not lying by saying you get it before the public does, which makes them feel special, even if it's 10 seconds before. Yes.
All right, guys, we have another class coming in. I'm sorry to our commercial guys, it will not be as cool as this one. Did you guys get value out of this? Alex, thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
So go out, book your open houses, but what are we going to make sure we do? Show up on time, have your signs already put out. Alex, thank you so much. Thank you.
Is anybody? We just dropped the price again. I saw. I mean, it flooded, so. I know, but it's so. It's super cute. I did get an email